A while ago, I coded a toy train track generator and made it look like those from BRIO, since they're the ones I have at home. Really liked how the pieces looked like, so it got me thinking, could we use them to make a game or simulation of some kind? Now I'm on a train again and want to implement a way to add pieces manually. I'll start the project from scratch and work with an abstract view of the pieces, and later, if it turns good, I'll apply the styling from the other project. Here's how it went. I wanted the basic canvas setup and asked Copilot to generate it for me to save some time. It looked okay. It even drew something to see if it works. But I didn't need that, so removed it and decided to encapsulate all the logic in an object called scene, containing the canvas, and here I just tell it to draw. In the scene, I took out the canvas properties and decided to draw a circle, just to see if it works. Then I needed ways to add different pieces to the scene. This AI thinks I want to build a drawing app, adding lines, rectangles, and so on. I decided to keep the name line for the straight piece and arc for the curved piece, and added a way to select the type. Used radio buttons so they're mutually exclusive, and passed them to the scene as well. Selected the first tool by default and proceeded to add functionality to create the train track. I used pointer event listeners, so mobile support is also there, and on pointer down we add a piece at a given location. But I wanted to give an idea what will happen when pressing, so this show add piece intent is also here. Idea is to keep it as a kind of ghost piece, showing where the piece will appear when you press. Now the create piece method works differently depending on which piece we want to create. Basically, it either creates a line piece or an arc piece for now. Implemented these two classes in two separate files, and for now they're really straightforward. Just showing a line and a small circle at the origin for the line piece, and using an arc too for the curved piece. The line worked just fine, but the arc didn't, because I had to implement a way to detect that tool changed. So I refactored the bit to add an on-change event listener when initializing the tools, and it started to work as expected. Good, but the arc piece didn't look nice. I began working on it after I made that ghost piece transparent so it wouldn't be confused with the others. The arc piece required some math to draw it at a given length around the circle. The center of the circle was the origin, and that wasn't really great, because we want to hold the piece with the mouse, really. So had to figure out some more math, and also had to know where the pieces end, what their endpoints are. I decided each piece has a start point and an endpoint for now, and they can be thought of as these different connectors here. Now I thought a bit about the rotation as well. I would like zero rotation to mean the piece is pointing downwards, because it's less complicated for the curved piece if zero angle means zero rotation. So I updated the line piece to work like that, and worked on making the two files consistent. I thought eventually they'll become subclasses of a piece superclass, so was writing the code in that direction. And it was time to make the curved piece appear at the mouse location. For that I needed the midpoint on the arc, and then for convenience I implemented a vector class and calculated an offset where the center of the arc should be. Now the red dot is the center of the arc. I keep it there for debugging, and the arc is centered around the origin. Great. I generalized the code a bit more, showing endpoints for the line piece as well, and realized that those endpoints have an angle that is also important. When we try to connect a new piece, that angle tells how it should rotate. I started doing this for the line piece, and to visualize direction, I needed a function that shows a small arrow tip. Implemented this in a basic drawing module, and after a bit of fine-tuning, it worked as expected. Had to do the same for the arc piece, and this was a bit more challenging, but not by much. Tested all kind of orientations and arc lengths, and it worked well. But I didn't like the code was duplicated, so I refactored and redid the math so the drawing is done using the endpoints and that offset. I needed few more vector functions for getting the polar form, direction and magnitude, and I was happy with the outcome. Then I really wanted the pieces to snap together nicely. So if close to another piece, it snaps. I started to implement this thinking I'll compute an error as a kind of percent, how far from the snap threshold some endpoint is. And I'd try to match all pieces to this ghost piece and choose the one that has the lowest error. To do the match, I'd get the endpoints and calculate the distance from a piece's start point to the ghost's endpoint and vice versa, and choose the best. I normalized the distance relative to half the length of the piece to avoid setting another threshold here, and returned the error. I implemented the distance function in a utility file and tested in the console. The numbers looked okay, but now I needed to figure out how to move the ghost piece to snap next to another if the error is small enough. I also realized this should be a general behavior for both types of pieces, so it was time to refactor and create that piece superclass I mentioned earlier. It would provide the match method, and the get endpoints and draw methods need to be implemented differently in each subclass. I calculated an offset, how much the piece has to be moved so the endpoints connect, and it started to work. But sometimes was wrong for the curved piece. I thought I had the endpoints reversed, and it was something along those lines. After a bit of trial and error, it started to work as expected, but I still had to rotate the piece according to an angle offset. It took a while to figure that out. There were some bugs that were really hard to track. I debugged by coloring the endpoints differently, green for start and red for end, traffic light logic, and refactored some things in the debugging process. Realized I had to clone the ghost piece so it doesn't apply multiple consecutive rotations. Crazy stuff, but then it started to work. There were still some issues, like I didn't want to connect endpoints that are already connected, and something weird was happening when completing the track, connecting two endpoints at the same time. I started to implement a way to check if the endpoints are busy, already connected to something. For that, I needed a helper function to check if points are equal or not. Because of floating point stuff, I accepted a small error there and it started to work as expected. Realized we needed a way to fix mistakes, so a remove piece function needs to be there. I really didn't understand why this behavior was happening when connecting the final piece. I spent an hour on this one, testing like crazy. In hindsight, it was obvious. Same as before, the ghost piece was matched twice, for both endpoints. So rotated twice, one after another. All I had to do is add a return here and accept the first match. Both errors would be equal, so it doesn't really matter which we accept. I tested making a more complex track and I really liked the feeling. I had many ideas going through my head, like the ghost piece should rotate all the time to match the nearest place it could connect, no matter if the error is about the threshold or not. But I had to leave that as a to-do for the future. It needs a fresh brain and I was tired already. But I think it would make a huge difference in usability, and this custom behavior is what can set apart a good application from a mediocre one. Then moved on to implement remove functionality. I changed the last radio button to be that instead and made it work by first getting the nearest piece to the mouse, then highlighting it in red, showing the intent to remove the piece. I had to do fine-tuning because the intent was transparent when adding a piece, and I liked that, but now I wanted to attract attention that the piece will be removed, so I'm making it opaque red in this case. There were some issues because cloning the piece to show this other intent didn't support rotation. I was working with clones, so direct equality didn't work and I had to implement a way to check if it's the same piece or not. I just used their origins for now, and after some fine-tuning it started to work really well. And I tried creating a more complicated path to see the behavior. I really liked how it felt. I still had about 20 minutes until my destination and was thinking what could I do in this time. I decided on a split piece, even though I was quite worried. If I wouldn't have time to finish it, the code will remain in a very annoying state, and it might be half a year until I'm on a train again to continue this project. I built the split piece using the arc piece code as a reference and added a straight segment there as well. Actually, I decided to add two segments, one for each endpoint, because it would make things simpler in the future when implementing the flip functionality. So this piece has two start points and two endpoints. Now I didn't want to focus on making a general code that works with any number of endpoints, because that requires more brain power and there wasn't time for that. I visualized and it seemed okay, but I really wanted to make those endpoints snap as well. And after adding the extra connections, making sure those endpoints exist so the code still works for simple pieces, and some stupid variable naming and spaghetti stuff, I got something to work. It was time to remove the extra straight part, a bit of trial and error, and I got what I wanted. I thought I'd try to write a number, like what I do with my kids sometimes. Then went a bit crazy, added more complexity, and they didn't connect. I wanted to remove a piece and move the right side a bit, and notice the rotation is not added properly when cloning the line piece. Also some errors appearing when no piece is to remove. Fixed those quickly, and I really had to start packing now. Let me know if you'd like to see this project progress in some other form, like maybe a live stream instead of these quick devlogs I do when traveling. Thanks for watching, and see you guys.